Hello everyone, welcome back to another Starships 2.0 tutorial. Unlike the previous one, this one should be fairly short. This time I'll be discussing what happens when you run a ship with a quote-unquote skeleton crew. If you don't plan to operate your ship with a crew less than its minimum crew requirement, feel free to skip this video and move on to the next one. Your ship's crew size is determined by a few factors: its size, its installed suites, and its intelligence modifier. There are two numbers you need to consider, which the Starship sheet calculates for you: minimum crew and maximum crew. These are self-explanatory, but minimum crew tells you how many crew members a ship needs to be run effectively, and maximum crew tells you how many crew members your ship has lodging for. Tiny ships don't have a crew, as these are droids or drones. Small ships have a minimum and maximum crew of 1, though their maximum crew can be expanded with modifications. For medium through gargantuan ships, though, your ship's intelligence modifier begins to play a role. The short version is, the higher your ship's intelligence modifier, the lower your ship's minimum crew requirement. You can also install slave circuit modifications to further decrease the minimum crew requirement. In larger vessels, crews typically work in shifts, so you may have a total number of crew members equal to 2 to 3 times the minimum. Problems begin to arise when you operate a ship with less crew members than the minimum crew requirement. A ship run with a crew 3/4 the size of the minimum crew operates as though it were suffering from one more level of system damage than it otherwise would. System damage is basically exhaustion, but for starships, and you can read up on it in Appendix A. A ship run with a crew half the size of the minimum crew operates as though it were suffering from 2 more levels of system damage than it otherwise would. A ship run with a crew 1/4 the size of the minimum crew operates as though it were suffering from 3 more levels of system damage than it otherwise would. A ship run with a crew 1/10 the size of the minimum crew operates as though it were suffering from 4 more levels of system damage than it otherwise would. Lastly, a ship cannot operate with a skeleton crew if the skeleton crew would cause the ship to operate as though it had 5 or more levels of system damage. At the end of every full day of operation with a skeleton crew, the ship's pilot must make an intelligence piloting check to determine if the ship has suffered any damage as a result of operating with a skeleton crew. The DC for the check is 10 plus 2 times the level of system damage the ship is operating at when the check is made. And that's pretty much it. I hope you found this video helpful and informative, and I'll see you on the next one.